The Complete History of Iran. 5,000 Years of Empires, Wars, Revolutions, and Power. Have you ever wondered how one nation survived for more than 5,000 years, defeated mighty empires, endured invasions, revolutions, and wars, yet still remains one of the most influential countries in the Middle East today? This is the story of Iran, a land once known as Persia, a civilization older than most countries on earth, a nation that gave birth to kings, conquerors, poets, scientists, and warriors. From the rise of Cyrus the Great to the modern Islamic Republic, this is the complete history of Iran. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel brings you the most fascinating true stories and historical documentaries from around the world. Now, let's travel back thousands of years. Chapter 1. Before Persia, the birth of civilization. Long before Iran became known as Persia, ancient civilizations were already thriving on the Iranian plateau. Archaeological evidence shows that humans lived in this region for tens of thousands of years. By around 3000 BC, one of the earliest civilizations emerged, the Elamites. Their kingdom developed cities, trade networks, and sophisticated systems of government. They became one of the earliest powers in the Middle East. For centuries, different tribes and kingdoms rose and fell across the region. But everything changed when a new people appeared: the Persians. Chapter 2. Cyrus the Great and the First Persian Empire. In 550 BC, a remarkable leader named Cyrus the Great united the Persian tribes and overthrew the Medes. This was the birth of the Achaemenid Empire. Within a few decades, Cyrus conquered vast territories stretching from Central Asia to the Mediterranean Sea. He defeated powerful kingdoms including Lydia and Babylon. Unlike many rulers of the ancient world, Cyrus became famous for his tolerance. He allowed conquered peoples to keep their religions, languages, and customs. Many historians consider him one of the greatest rulers in human history. Under Cyrus, Persia became the largest empire the world had ever seen. Chapter 3. Darius the Great and the Golden Age. After Cyrus came Darius the Great. Darius transformed Persia into an administrative masterpiece. He divided the empire into provinces, created a standard currency, improved taxation, and built the Royal Road, one of the most impressive transportation networks of the ancient world. Trade flourished. Cities grew. Persia became richer and stronger than ever before. But a conflict was approaching that would become legendary: the Persian Wars. Chapter 4. The Wars against Greece. As Persian influence expanded westward, conflict with the Greek city-states became unavoidable. The Persian Empire launched campaigns against Greece. This period produced some of history's most famous battles: Battle of Marathon, 490 BC, Battle of Thermopylae, 480 BC, Battle of Salamis, 480 BC, Battle of Plataea, 479 BC. Although Persia remained powerful, these wars stopped its expansion into Europe. The conflict also created the legendary rivalry between Persia and Greece that historians still discuss today. Chapter 5. Alexander the Great destroys Persia. In 334 BC, a young Macedonian king named Alexander launched an invasion that would change history forever. Alexander defeated Persian armies repeatedly. Finally, in 330 BC, the Persian king Darius III lost his empire. The mighty Achaemenid Empire collapsed. For the first time in centuries, Persia was ruled by foreigners. Chapter 6. The Parthians versus Rome. After Alexander's empire fragmented, a new Iranian power emerged: the Parthian Empire. The Parthians became famous for their cavalry and military tactics. More importantly, they became the greatest eastern enemy of Rome. For centuries, Rome and Parthia fought brutal wars across the Middle East. Neither side could completely defeat the other. Many historians consider him one of the greatest rulers in human history. Under Cyrus, Persia became the largest empire the world had ever seen. Chapter 3: Darius the Great and the Golden Age. After Cyrus came Darius the Great. Darius transformed Persia into an administrative masterpiece. He divided the empire into provinces, created a standard currency, improved taxation, and built the Royal Road, one of the most impressive transportation networks of the ancient world. Trade flourished. Cities grew. Persia became richer and stronger than ever before. But a conflict was approaching that would become legendary: the Persian Wars. Chapter 4: The Wars against Greece. As Persian influence expanded westward, conflict with the Greek city-states became unavoidable. The Persian Empire launched campaigns against Greece. This period produced some of history's most famous battles: Battle of Marathon, 490 BC, Battle of Thermopylae, 480 BC, Battle of Salamis, 480 BC, Battle of Plataea, 479 BC. Although Persia remained powerful, these wars stopped its expansion into Europe. The conflict also created the legendary rivalry between Persia and Greece that historians still discuss today. Chapter 5: Alexander the Great destroys Persia. In 334 BC, a young Macedonian king named Alexander launched an invasion that would change history forever. Alexander defeated Persian armies repeatedly. Finally, in 330 BC, the Persian king Darius III lost his empire. The mighty Achaemenid Empire collapsed. For the first time in centuries, Persia was ruled by foreigners. Chapter 6: The Parthians versus Rome. After Alexander's empire fragmented, a new Iranian power emerged: the Parthian Empire. The Parthians became famous for their cavalry and military tactics. More importantly, they became the greatest eastern enemy of Rome. For centuries, Rome and Parthia fought brutal wars across the Middle East. Neither side could completely defeat the other. The struggle created one of the longest rivalries in ancient history. Chapter 7: The Sasanian Empire. In 224 AD, the Sasanians replaced the Parthians. Many historians consider the Sasanian Empire the final great empire of ancient Persia. The Sasanians strengthened government institutions, expanded trade, and promoted Zoroastrianism. They fought countless wars against the Roman Empire and later the Byzantine Empire. At times, Persian armies came close to conquering major Roman territories. But these endless wars exhausted both sides, and a new force was rising in Arabia: Islam. Chapter 8: The Islamic Conquest of Persia. In the 7th century, Arab Muslim armies began expanding beyond Arabia. The Sasanian Empire, weakened by decades of war and internal struggles, could not resist effectively. By 651 AD, the last Sasanian ruler had fallen. Persia became part of the Islamic world. Many expected Persian culture to disappear. It did not. Instead, Persian scholars, poets, scientists, and philosophers became major contributors to Islamic civilization. Persian culture survived and influenced the entire Muslim world. Chapter 9: The Mongol Catastrophe. In the 13th century, disaster struck. The Mongols arrived. Led by descendants of Genghis Khan, Mongol armies swept across Iran. Cities were destroyed. Libraries burned. Millions died. It was one of the darkest periods in Iranian history. Yet somehow, Iran survived. Once again, Persian culture adapted and endured. Chapter 10: The Rise of the Safavid Empire. In 1501, Shah Ismail founded the Safavid Empire. This event changed Iran forever. The Safavids declared Twelver Sharia Islam the official religion of the state. This decision helped create the religious identity that still defines modern Iran today. Under Shah Abbas the Great, Iran entered a golden age. Trade expanded. Architecture flourished. Cities like Isfahan became among the most beautiful in the world. Chapter 15: Iran, Israel, and the United States, the New Era of Conflict. For decades after the 1979 Iranian Revolution, relations between Iran, Israel, and the United States remained tense. Iran viewed the United States as a major foreign influence in the Middle East and adopted a strongly anti-Israel position after the revolution. Diplomatic relations between Iran and Israel ended, and hostility between the two countries gradually increased. Throughout the 1980s, 1990s, and 2000s, tensions grew over several issues, including Iran's regional influence, support for allied groups across the Middle East, and its nuclear program. The United States and several Western countries accused Iran of pursuing capabilities that could eventually lead to nuclear weapons. Iran consistently stated that its nuclear program was intended for peaceful purposes and energy production. As the years passed, sanctions increased, diplomacy failed repeatedly, and mistrust deepened. By the 2020s, the Middle East had become the center of a growing confrontation involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. In 2025, tensions reached a new level when direct military exchanges occurred between Iran and Israel. A brief but intense conflict, sometimes called the 12-Day War, involved strikes on military and nuclear-related targets before a ceasefire was reached. However, the ceasefire did not solve the underlying problems. Disagreements over Iran's nuclear activities, regional influence, missile programs, and security concerns continued to grow. In early 2026, the situation escalated dramatically. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched large-scale military strikes against targets inside Iran. According to reports, the attacks targeted military infrastructure, missile systems, and sites connected to Iran's strategic capabilities. Iran responded with missile and drone attacks against Israeli targets and American military facilities across the region. The conflict quickly expanded beyond a single battlefield and affected several countries throughout the Middle East. The war created fears of a much larger regional conflict. Oil markets reacted immediately. Global leaders called for restraint. International organizations warned about the risk of wider instability throughout the region. As fighting continued, analysts described the conflict as one of the most dangerous confrontations in modern Middle Eastern history. Although negotiations and diplomatic efforts continued, many of the core disagreements remained unresolved. Questions surrounding Iran's nuclear future, regional security, military influence, and relations with Israel and the United States continue to shape international politics today. The story of Iran is therefore not finished. From the rise of Cyrus the Great more than 2,500 years ago to the conflicts of the modern era, Iran has remained one of the most influential and resilient nations in world history. Empires have risen. Empires have fallen. Wars have been fought. Revolutions have changed governments. Yet Iran continues to stand at the center of some of the most important events shaping the modern world. Outro. And so, after thousands of years of history, countless wars, the rise and fall of mighty empires, foreign invasions, revolutions, and modern conflicts, Iran remains one of the most fascinating nations on earth. From the glory of ancient Persia and the achievements of Cyrus the Great, to the Islamic Revolution and the geopolitical struggles of today, Iran's story is a powerful reminder that history never truly ends. It only continues to write new chapters. Whether admired, criticized, feared, or respected, Iran has shaped the course of human history for more than 2 millennia and continues to influence events around the world today. But what do you think? Will Iran continue to grow as a regional power in the future, or will new challenges reshape its destiny once again? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the most incredible true stories and historical events from around the world. Thank you for watching. And remember, the past may be gone, but its stories still shape our future. See you in the next documentary.